We've come to the turning point in the course, which is the reading of Hans Jonas's Technology and Responsibility Reflections on the New Tasks of Ethics. The reason it's the turning point is because there's a kind of before and after in this course, and the before and after is the introduction of the so called Jonas thesis, or what I like to refer to as the Jonas thesis. There's a lot in this essay, um, but the central idea is that we've come to a point in human history where our traditional approaches to morality, to ethics, and to making reasonable ethical decisions are no longer adequate. That is, because of the scope and power of modern technology, the presuppositions that structured the old ethics no longer can be presupposed. The conditions of human life that produced, just for instance, ethical approaches like utilitarianism and Kantianism, they no longer exist. Or you might say they exist, but something else exists too, and that is the presence of a technology which has the capacity to change nature in ways that were previously unimaginable, to change us, human nature, in ways that were previously unimaginable, and that we need to develop a new approach. So there is obviously some suggestion in the essay of what that new approach might look like, but it's rather sketchy. One of the, I would say, big suggestions is that we can't mindlessly develop new technologies and implement them. We have to be more thoughtful, and we have to be more careful, and we have to be willing at the end of the day to forego a technology if, in our ignorance or our awareness of our ignorance of its profound effects, if we judge that it's just too dangerous, or that its results or consequences are too difficult to anticipate. So, as far as this class is obviously not a class on technology in general. It's a class about digital technology. So, what we'll be doing is looking at issues in digital technology which seem to perhaps support the Jonas thesis. It's not that the first two we looked at, self driving cars and the Facebook experiment, it's not that they didn't suggest aspects of themselves that might be construed as being beyond the capacities of our traditional ethical frameworks. But certainly, an issue like the singularity, which we'll begin discussing this week, and I think also issues like the, some of the speculations about the uh, development of social media, and certainly the consequences of digital technology applied to surveillance, that they are issues that seem to be supportive in some way of the Jonas thesis. Like, can we actually deal with these? At least they raise the question, or that they add to the question, or are amenable to the fundamental question of the Jonas thesis. Can we actually deal with these issues with traditional ethical decision making frameworks? And really, we're talking here in terms of this class about Kantianism and utilitarianism. So, this is what we're doing now. I mean, the first 4 weeks of of the course, or 3 weeks of the course, were an exercise in looking at a couple of issues in digital ethics or computer ethics with the tools of Kant and utilitarianism. The rest of the course is really looking at the thing in a more open-ended way and asking whether ethically we as a species are prepared to actually deal with the profound challenges and ethical issues that are thrust upon us by the development of digital technology.